think there's nothing more satisfying than the dog that you've put a lot of work into. Winning their race is quite a buzz.
Some Black Hill boy who after a muddy start has showed excellent middle pace, but our boy Seamus got the run, and our boy Seamus wins by a length and a half.
I'm Nathan Hunt, I'm 26, I'm originally from South Wales. How I got started really, I was introduced with my neighbour to it. She runs Swansea Flapping Track, and I started going racing with her son then. And we started off just me and him having a dog each in his garden to train to race there, and then it slowly worked up. We were travelling around the country, going racing on the independent circuit, and then she ended up getting a training licence. It was a whole new world for me. I'd had no background in my family of the sport, so it was really exciting. We used to go racing around the country. Even if we didn't have a runner, we'd go to places like Reading, Oxford. We'd go to Wimbledon for the Greyhound Derby. There the atmosphere was brilliant, so that was really got me hooked. I moved here to Cambridge in 2015, where I worked for Phil Simmons as a kennel hand here. I worked my way up to assistant trainer, and then I took over the licence in February this year. Average morning for me is probably get up at 7. The pups go out first thing before the race dogs, and then the race dogs are out at 7:30 where the pups come in for their breakfast. So the race dogs then are cleaned out, they have their breakfast, go out in the paddocks together, and then we weigh every dog every day. This is where we weigh the dogs each morning. There you go, 36.6. So every dog is weighed every day. And just a general groom they get every day. So when they race, they'll need to be a kilo either side from when they last raced. So they weigh at the track every time they race. So before they race, they go there and they weigh in. So they've got to be a kilo either side. So for instance, if this dog was 36 kilos last time he raced, he needs to be a kilo either side of that. So it's important just to weigh them every day, so we're keeping on top. Some dogs might vary, some dogs might put on weight quickly. You know, if we get a drop in temperature, they might lose a little bit of weight, so it's important just to keep on top of it. My earliest memories of greyhound racing, the first dog I paraded, I'll always remember it. We were parading on the track, and he just pulled me to the one side to have a pee, and I looked up to see the stand, and I looked back down, and the lead had broke, and the dog had done a lap around the track before the race. So that was my earliest memory of really greyhound racing. With the greyhounds, they don't need so much exercise as say a horse would canter every day. We gallop them in pairs, we muzzle them just to be sure, and they have a good run down to the bottom and then come all the way back up. Say if a dog has gone a week without a race, we'll bring him out here just to keep him ticking over, give him a good blowout. It's a fantastic facility to have on site, which we can use pretty much all year round. It's well maintained, we harrow it quite a lot. It's great with the pups obviously to get them started with the schooling behind the lure, out the traps down the bottom, and get them learning before they hit the track anyway. So this is the largest paddock we've got. So usually first thing in the morning the pups come out here before the race dogs, and then they're back in for their breakfast, and then they come back out here then for the rest of the morning and all afternoon. And then we've got one litter here, which is the Wahida litter out of Lughill Blake, they're 9 months old. There's eight of those, and then we've got Forest Apple ones next door in the other large paddock, so they've got plenty of space here to run around. So normally we have, like in the litter, average probably about 8, so we put them out together at a time. But with the race dogs, then they just come out in their pairs, so they're fed separately, and then they go out into the paddocks as pairs.
I'm Tammy. I work here for Nathan Hunt. And I'm a kennel assistant. We've got over about 80 dogs on site, including puppies. We've got 3 litters of puppies, as well as all the racers and some retired greyhounds now. So I get to do quite a bit of the fun stuff as well. We get to do the puppies' nails, get to keep up on their worming and flea treatment as well, and then just making their days nice and fun from the start all the way through to racing. I love just coming to the kennels every day and just having that freedom to talk to the dogs, give them a fuss. The feeling when a puppy wins a race or a dog wins a race, especially a homebred one that we've seen come all the way through its career, it's really, really lovely to see, and it gives you a bit of pride to know that you've contributed into that win. Just everything helps, everyone pulling together makes that dog into what it is.
Different training on your own is a lot more to deal with. It's not just training the dogs, you know, you've got to make sure everyone's looked after, the owners, the staff. Make sure the communication is there, just to check, make sure the following runners for the commencing days are all okay to run. I need to tell them if I've got a dog with an injury, I need to tell them to take him off, not to use him. Spending the time with the dogs, working on them, seeing all the individuals, working out their traits really, trying to get to the bottom of them. I think a lot of it is psychological. If you can just get inside the dog's head and work them out, then I think you'll get the best out of them. If there's dogs been off, ready to go back on. This is Balliard Ricky. He's probably our leading hope for this year. Didn't get much luck in the Derby.
A good break by Balliard Ricky.
We just had to pull him out of the Derby plate after running so well in the first round with a little niggle.
He's been nudged slightly on the bend.
He's got a nice turn of foot once he does get out of the boxes. He's not a ping breaker, but he's a nice pace up to the bend.
And it's Hope the Bullet who gets up close home to land the scores. Balliard Ricky was back in second with Swanley Flight.
I'd say he's an all-round, pretty good all-round four-bend dog. In 5 years' time, hopefully we've cemented a good position at Romford with a good team of graders, and then obviously, hopefully, we've managed to get a couple of big races under our belt. It's a big responsibility, a lot of pressure comes with it, but something I'm really enjoying. Just build a good team of dogs, really. We're always looking for quality, and hopefully in 5 years' time we'll have a good quality team, and just see the end product's the biggest buzz. I think obviously with the lockdown, it's been hard to set a target for this year. For the first year, I think it's just about getting settled really and laying out the foundations. I think we've got a lot of pups here now. We've really concentrated on the pups this year, breeding pups and rearing them here. So we've got 20 on the ground. So that's something we are concentrating on, getting set up really for next year, getting them schooled, and I think next year, hopefully with the pups we'll have a good year. Obviously everyone's ambition is to win the Derby. I think it's up there, everyone wants to win. If we get the right dog at the right time, then we'll go for it. But I think if we can just run a successful kennel, get as many winners during the year as we can, hopefully we'll build a nice team of dogs to start getting Category 1 dogs, and hopefully it'll fall into place. Welfare is extremely important with greyhound racing for us to survive as a support. I think everyone on the outside, we know in the support it's well run, the dogs are getting well looked after, the dogs are rehomed after racing, but it's making sure everyone outside the support looking in realises what's going on. And the retirement scheme where the owner, when it comes over or gets registered for the first time, they put £200 into a bond, and then when that follows the dog around, and then when it does come time to retire, the GBGB match that, so the £400 goes to that retirement centre. So I think that's massively important. So a lot of people think they need a lot of work, but they don't really. They sleep most of the time. A couple of little walks a day is all they need. It's all laid back dogs, very gentle dogs and very loving dogs, and a lot of people are taken back really how well laid back they are, and they're not as crazy as people probably assume they would be.